What would happen if all of Earth's water was on the moon? Earth would be very different. In fact, it doesn't even make sense to draw the shorelines, but let's assume, for the time being, that international boundaries will remain the same. It might interest you to know that some good may come of this. You wouldn't have to worry about things like rising sea levels, and the US would save trillions of dollars annually on things like storm relief and having a navy. Because of this vast difference, we would probably want to rename our planet something more fitting, like New Cal. The impact of the water on the moon wouldn't do much to change its orbit, but it would have a fairly large impact on the lunar soil. 12% of the moon's crust is comprised of calcium oxide, which produces calcium hydroxide and heat when mixed with water. But there's just so much water that all of the heat would be absorbed and the pH would barely reach that of pool water. Once the ocean settled, the moon would have tides, but they would never change because the same side of the moon is always facing the Earth. This is the result of tidal locking. Even when there isn't water on the moon, the Earth still pulls on its face like some kind of cosmic Botox. The oceans on the moon would be very, very deep, about 4 times the height of Mount Everest, or 3 times as deep as the deepest part of the Mariana Trench. The tides themselves would oscillate back and forth by about the height of 3 giraffes. Why are there 3 giraffes on the moon? I don't know. At this point, the extreme heat of the lunar day and cold of lunar night would create currents which would regulate the moon's temperature. The moon would be surprisingly stable, at least for a while, and terraforming would be a good possibility. In fact, it would be pretty easy to drop a dome on the moon and fill it with air a la Buckminster Fuller. The splash fights would be amazing in the low gravity, and an average person could probably breach the water like a dolphin, if they wore swim fins. And someone like Michael Phelps could easily breach 5 or 6 meters. And I think this alone would be reason enough to have Earth's water on the moon.